We're gonna give you 4 of the best lifts that you can use to increase your football leg power, and we're gonna start right now. So when we're training for football, we've got to look at a couple different factors. One, we're going to be dealing with a large team typically. You're going to be working with 30 to 40 different athletes. We also are working with different positions. If we look at wide receivers versus linebackers versus linemen, there's going to be a couple key differences, but we still have to develop that power output. And what I prefer to refer to this as is actually improving impulse. Impulse is the amount of force that you can generate in a short period of time. When linemen hit helmet to helmet, typically there's going to be about 0.4 to 0.45 seconds, okay? So that's about that time frame that we have to produce a lot of force. And this is going to be across all different positions. So with that in mind, we have to help develop wide receivers to produce a large amount of impulse, okay? We have to help our offensive linemen who weigh a lot more to produce a large amount of impulse. That means we have to figure out what leg lifts can generate greater impulse output and in turn help dominate on the gridiron. Okay, remember now, when we're trying to develop leg power output or leg impulse output, okay, impulse ratio or impulse, whatever fancy word we can use. We'll figure that out with our verbiage. When we're thinking about developing impulse, we have to think about movements that are gonna require a lot of technique. We have to think about movements that are gonna be moving weight fast, and we have to think about getting as strong as possible so that we can then move weight fast. Okay, so the first exercise that we're gonna give you is going to be a 1-box clean. And this was our go-to explosive movement with Nick Singleton, the 2022 Big Ten Rookie of the Year, one of the best collegiate football players in the entire country as an 18-year-old. And the reason we like to use a 1-box clean is because I like having a little bit less stress on their lower back, okay? So with football, we're gonna take a lot of compression when we're hitting each other. We're also going to try and get as strong as possible, so we're gonna be squatting a lot, we're gonna be front squatting a lot, we're gonna be doing a lot of different movements that can stress the lower back. When we go off the box, it's a little bit easier, and the big kicker here is they have to generate force in a faster range, in a faster time frame, because they don't have as much of a distance to pull. Okay, so that's one of the big factors. Now, our boxes here are 7.5 inches. If you don't have a box, I would recommend doing like a low hang clean or a high hang clean. But I love using that 1-box clean to develop that impulse output. And over time, this is gonna be great for wide receivers. It's gonna be great for running backs, and it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal for offensive linemen. And you can do this over 7 to 9 sets. You can do doubles, triples, or even work up to heavy singles and then do drop sets for 3 or 4 reps. That second key exercise is going to be the single leg squat, and we love using the garage strength single leg pad and single leg roller, okay? Now, in football, we're in a lot of positions that are gonna be unilateral. That's why we need to improve our strength from a unilateral position. If you need one of these rollers, again, head over to garagestrength.com. If we're training somebody like a running back, like Nick Singleton, we wanna make sure that we're pushing their unilateral strength. This is gonna help their dynamic trunk control so that they have better cutting ability. It's also gonna help them come off the line in that unilateral position a lot faster. Think about a wide receiver in their stance out on the edge. If they get a strong position here on the line and they know how to drive from the glutes and from the quads, they're gonna be a lot more explosive, and when they're more explosive, they get into their cuts much more effectively. When they get into their cuts more effectively, they can decelerate a little bit quicker, they can accelerate even faster, and then they can put their opponents in bad positions. When they put their opponents in bad positions, now they can make plays, and that's the big thing with a single leg squat. We'll do single leg squats for 4 sets of 4 on each leg, 2 sets of 9 on each leg, and try and build that strength up throughout the entire year. That third key exercise is gonna be the movement that all the football players are gonna make excuses about. They're not gonna wanna do it. They're gonna cry about their front rack position. And then they're gonna wonder why they clean less than garage strength 8th graders. And that exercise is going to be a front squat. Now, the big factor here is that if you can't get that front rack position, you better be working on your mobility, and you better be doing that 4 to 5 days a week so that you can front squat with that clean rack position. And in the meantime, you can use that cross bodybuilder grip. Now, with all that being said, some of the big factors here is that the front squat is absolutely phenomenal for building up the gut, okay? It's great for building the strength in your abs and in your back. It's also absolutely phenomenal for developing your quads. You have an upright trunk, you're hitting full depth, you have really good mobility in your lower back, you have good mobility in your ankles, and you learn how to accelerate out of the hole. This exercise transfers phenomenally to a power clean, to a full clean, to a 2-box clean, to a 1-box clean, to a hang clean. It transfers across the board to other lifts that play a phenomenal role in football power development. So, use a front squat twice a week to become an elite level football player. Make sure you push that as much as you can. And in theory, you should be able to clean about 85% of your single front squat max. Now, impulse. Remember, everything is through the lens of impulse. That's exactly how we built out peak strength. Inside of our app, Peak Strength, we go into day 1, leg day, day 2, upper body day, day 3, athlete day, day 4, impulse day. So when we're trying to improve impulse as a football player, one of those key factors is going to be our jumping ability. We have to produce a lot of force in a very short period of time. Remember, I talked about 0.4 seconds, okay? 0.4 seconds off the line is when those hats are making contact. So one of the movements that we can use to take the big front squat, to take the single leg squat, to take the 1-box clean is going to be a hurdle hop. Now, we wanna build into that, especially with our heavier guys, with our offensive linemen. We wanna slowly work into hurdle hops. We can do mini hurdle hops and then build up as they get more confident, as they're reacting quickly, as they learn how to ground, as they learn how to decelerate, and then use that energy to get out of that jump. I like doing hurdle hops once a week, possibly twice a week if we've got athletes that are a little bit more explosive. We can also use them with contrast training methods on a front squat day. But again, this is why we recommend picking up our brand new app, Peak Strength. You can use Peak Strength to develop that impulse, and with hurdle hops, you can do this on an athlete day and you can learn how to jump more effectively. When you can jump more effectively, your speed is gonna be off the charts. Now, as you gain weight and as you get more hypertrophic, your body learns how to recruit more effectively. And that's when you create better positions off the line. That's when you have a better first step. That's when you make better contact, and that is exactly when you dominate on the football field. So head over to peakstrength.app today, pick up our app, head over to garagestrength.com and you can pick up our single leg squat roller and pad. And remember, freaks, if you guys want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.